And he stands in, the 22-year-old center fielder. First pitch of the game is outside, ball one. We are underway.
Javi Vasquez leads the National League in strikeouts per 9 innings. He's also second to Tim Lincecum in overall strikeouts with 93, and he's just a couple behind him.
And it's even up.
And the 4 keys to success for Javi Vasquez today, really pretty simple. Take care of the top of their order. Trust me. Top of their order's got a lot of speed. You got to keep those guys off the bases in front of Sanchez, and some runs. Please, somebody.
2-2 now on Andrew McCutchen. Javier Vasquez facing the youngster. Javi, 32 years old, the native of Ponce, Puerto Rico, and McCutchen, they're the numbers. We talk about the all-speed team. I think this guy'd have to be on the list. And Vasquez gets him. Javi with strikeout number 1. So 1 away, and before Nigel Morgan comes up to hit, want to remind you that in today's game we're participating in the Home Run Challenge. Today, every home run hit in this game raises $10,000 for prostate cancer research. You can make a pledge by calling 800-798-CURE. And good work being done every year. That's something that Major League Baseball participates in. Every team participates in every year.
Very strong involvement for Major League Baseball in that, and very proud of it.
Vasquez just pounding the strike zone against Nigel Morgan, who's brought the Sox down. He's going.
Yeah. Didn't recognize him.
I know it. The 0-2. Got him swinging. 2 away. And Joe, you touched on the fact that he leads the league in strikeouts per 9. If you really want to know who the best strikeout pitcher is so far, the rate stat is what you want. He's been the best.
He's been the best in the National League, averaging almost 11 strikeouts per 9 innings. And the reason you extrapolate that out to 9 innings is that he hasn't pitched 9 innings yet. So if you prorate it out to 9, that's what you would get, almost 11 per game. And yes, I said extrapolate, and I'll promise never to use that again.
You had some of the kids' SAT flashcards lying around. And
yeah. I don't know where that came from. Day game.
And that out of play, our Firestone leaderboard. Javi Vasquez. Strikeouts per 9. He has at 11. Then Lincecum. And then Johan Santana. Strikes out the side.
Good start.
Whew. 2 swinging, 1 looking. And he's got 96 on the season. Carves up the top 3 in the Pirates order. No scores. The Braves come up to hit. side. And the Braves coming up in the bottom of the first. Bobby Cox and the Toyota starting lineups. Braves 12th in the league in runs per game. And a red-hot Chipper Jones, and especially finding the groove from the right side, which is the way he will hit against the lefty Paul Maholm. Pumps in a strike to Nate McLouth, the leadoff man.
Maholm, 26 years old, 6'2", 225 out of Memphis. Former first-round pick in 2003.
Fly ball to left. Niger Morgan is there. And there is one away.
Here are the Ford keys for success for Paul Maholm. May I have more April, please? He was 3-0 in April, 0-2 with a 4.5 ERA in May. He liked the April numbers better. And bet on Barbaro coming down the home stretch today. Be careful with the Braves cleanup hitter.
You have a feeling. Okay. You know, if he goes yard, I'm going to do down the stretch.
Oh, why not?
One away, Yunel Escobar. And Yunel last night with a, what would you say, a mental lapse defensively?
I would call it a vapor lock of some sort. Just hard to figure out what was going through his mind, that he didn't remember that there was a runner that had just passed in front of him. They lose a one-run game, and that was one of the runs. It was decisive.
Jack Wilson throws out Escobar, and before Chipper comes up to hit, here's what we're talking about from last night.
Ground ball up the middle, runners at first and second. You see the runner out at shortstop pass in front of Escobar. Good play by Kelly just to knock the ball down. And then Yunel just kind of froze. He looked to first like he might throw there and had no inkling that Craig Monroe might keep running. Watch Monroe. He rounds third, never stops, and Escobar forgot about him. And the Braves lost by a run.
Ball with no strikes to Chipper. Bounce to third. Andy throws high, but Adam LaRoche, his big brother, able to hold on to the bag. Braves go in order. We'll go to the second. Javier Vasquez off to an outstanding start. Here's another start pitching performance sequence brought to you by Texaco. That was the first inning, Joe Simpson.
Not too shabby. Freddie Sanchez thought that was way outside, but too close to take. Struck out the side, and in the process took over the strikeout lead in the National League. One more at the moment than Tim Lincecum.
So the right-hander back to work. Threw only 11 pitches. And first pitch swinging, Adam LaRoche. One up and one down. Javi Vasquez beat the Pirates back on April 19th. 6 innings, gave up 5 hits, didn't allow a run, walked 1, struck out 8.
And he got a bunch of runs to work with that day. The final score was 11-1.
He's only 4-5. I mean, he had that absolutely brutal game where the Braves were up 10-3 in Philadelphia, and he was in line for the win. The Braves coughed that one up and lost, I think it was 12-11.
Yes. Third game of the season.
Soft line to the right, and that'll fall. Well, Andy LaRoche, after a really tough start, say the first 2 weeks of the season, has gotten himself going. One thing you like is a .372 on base percentage, and the average continues to climb.
And he was doing a lot of that back in April, the last game or so against Atlanta, where he had been trying to really turn and lift the ball out of the ballpark at PNC. He started going up the middle and the other way, and things started clicking for him.
Pedro Alvarez, who was the number 2 overall pick last year, he's at single A Lynchburg for them. He's got monster power. I mean, everybody within the Pirate organization certain about the power. But, you know, if he's at Lynchburg right now, I don't know that he'll be ready for a starting job next year. And looking at his numbers, hitting in the 230s, he's got about 10 home runs. So, you know, you may be looking at a little more time for him.
Might take him a couple of years, and I don't think that's unusual for a power guy coming out of college with the aluminum bat and having to make the adjustment to wood. Whether you played in the Cape Cod League with wood bats during the summer or not, there's still some adjustment to be made.
And it goes both ways, too. We talked about Mike Minor, who, like Alvarez, attended Vanderbilt. They played together there. They were teammates with Mike Minor, the Braves' first-round pick. Number 1 in college, for the most part, you see the pitching coaches or managers call every single pitch. And because of the aluminum bat, a lot more breaking balls.
Yeah. And I think pitching in the Southeastern Conference, too, with the good programs that are up and down that conference, he was 6-6, but his numbers were so good you can't put a lot of stock in that record because of what I consider an offensive advantage with the aluminum bats.
Yeah, it's a great point, though, about the conference. I mean, that's the elite of the elite in terms of competition. And you're going to go out of conference and play ACC teams. I think those would be the top 2 conferences out there, you'd have to say. Pac-10 is good. They don't invest as much of their money in baseball in the Pac-10 as they seem to in the SEC and the ACC. And one inside. Andy Pollock, our producer, letting me know that the SEC had 10 teams in the RPI top 50 this year. So, as evidence.
And I think Vandy was just 1 game away from advancing to the Super Regionals, too. They got beat in the if game in the regionals.
The 2-2. Another strikeout for Vasquez. He's got 4-2 away.
Like he went upstairs to get that one on Delwyn Young. Yeah, up, kind of running away from him, too. He foul tipped it, but McCann hangs on. What's this guy's name, Boo?
Robinson Diaz. You want to say Diaz, though. You look at it, you're so used to having Matt around.
Some people have a real hard time keeping Diaz and Diaz
straight. There's Matty. There's a strike. Ryan Domit's out with a bad wrist, their starter, and guy could swing the bat. They're saying that Ryan Domit will be out maybe until right around the All-Star break. They're being conservative about it. They don't want him to come back and then have a setback.
These two guys, Jaramillo and Diaz, are doing a respectable job filling in for him in his absence, but they're not near the offensive threat that Ryan Domin is, the switch hitting catcher.
The 1-1. He's got good hop on the fastball today. You can just see the way the hitters are reacting.
It's coming out of his hand nice. I don't know if they're having a hard time picking it up here right now in this daylight or not, but everybody's a little tardy. I'm not going to just say the Pirates either. I thought the Braves bats were a little tardy on Mahalam too, hitting some balls off the end of the bat. Understandable. This has been a long series for these guys, starting with that 15-inning game on Monday. And the Pirates are in the midst of a stretch of games where they're on the road 13 out of 16 games. They leave Atlanta and go home for 3, and then go to Minnesota and Colorado to finish up that stretch. So it's a very tiring time for them. Tell me if I'm wrong or if you feel differently, that I don't think this is a bad ball club, the Pirates.
No, I don't think it's a bad ball club.
You know, they're hovering just under 500.
Another strikeout.
But they've got some good players.
Bobby's got 5 more on that. When the Braves come up to hit in the bottom of the second, still no score. Big slow curveball. Bottom of the second, and no score. Barbaro Canizares called up from AAA Gwinnett and forgot his A.
Left his A in Gwinnett. I asked for a scouting report on Canizares from Tommy Hansen and Chris Medlin. They both at the same time said he can rake. They said he is a terrific hitter. Hit 300 last year at Richmond in the International League, made the All-Star team, and hitting .344 this year. 6'3", 240, born in Cuba.
That's a big boy.
That's a big boy. And there's an opportunity here for him. If the Braves needing some offense, if they've got somebody that can come off the bench and free swing it.
Absolutely.
That's something they have really needed. He's not the best defensive player, not fast, but can flat out hit by all accounts.
Wow. A little late from Hunter Wendelstedt, and a strikeout. And there is one away here in the second.
I feel bad for Barbaro here because this one never got to the gate. Are you kidding me? Where did Diaz have to reach for that one? No, sir. I think Mr. Canizares can relate to Mr. Sanchez on that ring up. Wow.
And Diaz swings and misses. 0-1 on Matt, who is career 3 for 9 against Paul Maholm with a home run. Two.
Fastball, curveball change. You saw the curveball that never got to the plate on the strikeout of Canizares. You just saw a change up there. Good sinking action on it.
Maholm coming off a win against the Astros. 7 innings, gave up 4 runs on 8 hits. Beat the Braves back on April 17th. 7 shutout innings. You talked about the good players on this team. I mean, this guy's one. If Zach Duke is right, 2 lefties that are very solid. And
good lefty in the bullpen in Graybo.
No doubt. Good closer. Diaz down on strikes, and there's 2 away. Folks, single game tickets to see the Braves and the Yankees and the Braves and the Red Sox on sale now. Tickets can be purchased at Braves.com/tickets or by calling 800-745-3000. Be sure to pre-purchase parking. The Turner parking lots will be permit only for all 6 games. Read much? The Turner parking lots will be permit only for all 6 games, so you got to pre-purchase parking. A lot of alliteration for anxious anchors placed in powerful posts. Redirected to Wilson. Francoeur is safe on an infield single. So Jeff with a 2-out knock.
Sometimes just a little bloop or an infield hit can get you going. Jeff needs that. His average down to 240, and he's just 4 for his last 25. That jumped up and bit Andy LaRoche on the wrist. Another thought, too, for you. Those seats out there in right field and the Golden Moon level where the Bobby Cox banner is. I found out from Gus Erton that those seats are $6. Not the Boston series, not the New York Yankees series. But those seats out there in right field are just $6, and those are regularly $28, $32 tickets.
David Ross now. And ball 1. Finish the thought. Yeah, they're the seats out there. I mean, $6.
$6. I mean, in honor of Bobby's number, of course.
Finish the thought of the Yankees and Red Sox. Yeah, get your tickets now and get your parking down. Back to the Pirates for one moment. It's pretty clear Neil Huntington is interested in upgrading this team defensively. Nyjer Morgan has played as the best defensive left fielder in baseball this year by the advanced defensive metrics. McCutchen obviously can really go get it. I think they're a little short offensively. I mean, you go back to this time last year and you had Bay, McLouth, and Nady and LaRoche. It's a little different flavor.
And a healthy Domet.
There you go. So I think they're a little short offensively right now.
But you know what? They're very comparable to Atlanta in a lot of different offensive categories, including the power numbers.
Yeah, and in fact, the Pirates are 9th in the league in runs per game, and the Braves are 12th. That's a good point. 1-2 to David Ross.
Adam LaRoche was asked if he thought by the trade deadline they might try to unload him in either a cost-saving measure or trying to get some more prospects, and he said it wouldn't surprise me, but I like playing here, and it's really a thrill to play with my younger brother. I like it here.
Got him swinging. 3 strikeouts in the inning for Mahalam, and he pitches around the 2-out infield single by Frank Ford. Music with Rhapsody. Know your music inning from Verizon Wireless. What Braves player or coach, or you get the idea, likes listening to all his favorite reggae music right on his wireless phone? Stick around, we'll tell you in the bottom of the 3rd. Reggae Man. Joe?
Got to think about that one.
Okay.
It would be Bob Marley-like, wouldn't it?
That is correct.
I love those drums. What are those called? Those little, like, tin drum? Steel drum. Thank you, Dave. How does Baker know that?
It's big in Jamaica.
Did you ever see him with his dreadlocks?
Back in the day, I remember.
Yeah. Pretty awesome.
They don't let you do that on TV. He had those working when he was doing radio.
Got a little pina colada and some steel drums working. You got a pretty good afternoon going.
No doubt. Well, the steel drums, that's more like calypso music, yeah?
I guess.
I don't know.
It might be, yeah.
I'd like to take that comment back.
Okay.
There's a big giant drum out there. That's really far away. Remember Mark Reynolds hit one a couple years ago all the way out there?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. 2-2. Got him swinging. And the strikeouts just keep on coming for Hobby. He's got 6.
Just mixes and matches, and then he just slices and dices. You can't sit on any one pitch in any count. great changeup here, just dived at the back point of the plate. Already 6 on the day, and he just started the 3rd inning.
I told the story when we were in San Francisco and Javier Vasquez was looking at film, and he was trying to see recent outings against the Giants, how guys had pitched the Giants. And Derek Lowe came over and said something to the effect of, why don't you look at Chad Billingsley? You guys are similar. You're about the same size. Your fastballs are similar, and you both throw about a bazillion pitches. He said something to that effect. Canizares will take it himself. The pitcher is out. 2 down.
Good play, Barbaro. First major league game, gets his first ground ball hit to him.
This week on Fox Saturday Baseball, interleague play returns. David Wright and the Mets invade the Bronx to take on Mark Teixeira and the New York Yankees in a showdown between bitter crosstown rivals. Or the Cardinals will take on the Indians. Fox Saturday Baseball this week at 4 Eastern. Check local listings for game and start time in your area. Yankees and the Mets. You usually don't get a lot of the New York teams on the national games, you know. Right center field. And McLeod puts it away. Vasquez gets him 1-2-3. No score. We're going to the bottom of the 3rd. Know your music inning. No score as we go to the 3rd. Brought to you by Verizon Wireless. We asked you earlier what Braves player, person, coach, whatever, likes listening to reggae music on his wireless phone.
I'm going Yunel Escobar.
I'm going to go Andy Pollock, who's producing today's broadcast. And the answer is Manny Acosta. I mean, seriously, Gary Lehman, like, you know that's Manny Acosta? Like, I can't.
Yeah, that's like the.
I mean, you got to be kidding me.
It's like trying to find the pitchers at Citi Field in New York, looking through that screen.
That's it. I love it. Can I have one more shot of Manny Acosta out there? They're just tucked into the shade. All those guys.
Well, it must be really hot on the field because I keep seeing guys take their hats off, kind of fan themselves.
Sure.
Game time temperature was only supposed to be, I say only, about 84 degrees, and a little breeze blowing in toward from right field, and now the wind shifted and it's blowing out to right center. Is that Alan Butts getting some Ray tones?
Yeah, he is. Kelly, did he go? You bet. And Mahalam has now struck out 4.
4 outs in a row have been strikeouts, up and in. Yes, he did. Do it.
Did you see the thing in the Philadelphia papers that was off a blog about Raul Ibanez?
Yes.
Have any thoughts on that?
Yes.
Well, let me first explain. A blogger online wrote a piece that was titled "The Curious Case of Raul Ibanez, Steroid Speculation Perhaps Unfair, but Great Start in 2009 Raising Eyebrows." And then they picked up on it, ran with it in the Philadelphia Inquirer. Not ran with it, but told the story of somebody implying that. And then went to Ibanez, and he responded, I think, as anticipated, in very angry fashion.
Well, can you blame him? I mean, a newspaper is going to take the opinion of somebody who's just sitting, as Ibanez said, in their mother's basement, typing on a computer and speculating. This was not a baseball official that speculated. This was not a doctor. It was a fan. I don't blame Ibanez for getting a little angry and saying they can test anything they want, and if they find me positive, I'll give back all the money I've ever made.
I will concede this. I just skimmed the story, but here's the thing. He wasn't being accused of anything. They were simply speculating and asking the question, could this be the reason? And the reality is, that's where we are, man.
That is where we are.
And I understand that it would make people angry, and especially the guys who are clean. But that's where we've got.
But not from a blogger. If you're the newspaper, come on, get a little better source.
But it's not about sourcing. He's asking the question. I mean, it's like, how many times have you had a media person or a fan say, hey, Brady Anderson, that 150 home run season, What's the difference?
So that's worth writing in a column about it, or if you're the Philadelphia Inquirer?
Well, you don't think that people are thinking that? Let me ask you this.
I don't care if people are thinking that. If you're going to write the story, have a reliable source and not somebody from a blog.
But, Joe, he's not accusing anyone of anything. All he's saying is, could this be the reason?
That's fine.
He's writing something, asking a question.
The newspaper writer is, or the blogger is?
Well, the blogger is.
Yeah, so why would the newspaper pick that up? That's what I'm saying.
Well,
Come on.
What I think's happening there is I think that the newspaper is using the blogger as the bad guy.
Could be.
To ask the question.
And stir it up.
To stir it up a little bit.
Yeah, okay. You're probably 100% right there. That way they can avoid having to take responsibility.
Exactly
for it.
right.
And that stinks.
I mean, I guess ultimately MLB only has itself to blame, but the trust issues and the place that the media and the fans go, I mean, think about it. You hear the implication, why isn't David Ortiz having a good year this year? People have speculated on that one. So he's having a bad year. Some people have speculated because he's not. This guy's having a good year because he is. It's like nobody can win. Nobody can win if everybody's just guessing and accusing or not accusing.
Yeah.
But that's where we are.
It's almost gotten to the point like with Ibanez, who's so proud of what he's doing and should be happy about what he's doing, that he's forced to almost have to volunteer for a test.
I mean, I think that the other part of it, too, that's unfair, this is a game where you will see aberrations. And I don't know what the responsibility of these guys is anymore. I really don't. I'm not sure where the line is for the press. But you know what I'm talking about? I mean, Roger Maris hit 60 home runs, and I'm not accusing him of anything, but I mean, history in baseball is littered with that. And we've made this point before. Yeah, in basketball, the 20 points per game guy doesn't just have an off year and average 13. This game's different in terms of a guy can have a really good year one year. And for Ibanez, how about moving from Safeco to Citizens Bank Park? It's got to be a pretty big factor.
Pretty big factor indeed with going to a bandbox like Citizens Bank Park.
After playing home games in a humongous park.
Right.
We go to inning number 4, and there is still no score here at Turner Field. For Chipper, vote for McCann. The Chop House sits unanimous. How about the Duck, Joe? You ready?
Ready.
Aflac!
There's the Duck. Aflac trivia question time. Who are the only 2 players from the 1992 NLCS that are currently on an MLB 40-man roster?
Wow.
The 40-man? So, like, it could be somebody who's DL.
Like John Smoltz.
That's good stuff.
I'd say Bob Walk, but he's in the booth. A couple of doors down.
Tim Wakefield.
There you go.
Thanks for playing, everybody. Drive safe. I think we need. I've had some Facebook complaints, by the way. Oh, we're guessing too early. They were making the Aflac trivia question about us. And honestly,
about
I think.
Us?
Well, I mean, other people want to guess. There's another strikeout. 7 now for Javier Vasquez. By the way, his career high is 14. Season high is a dozen.
His 14 came on April 9th of 2003 while with Montreal. Remember the Expos?
Wow.
That was at Chicago against the Cubs, I'm sure, on a chilly, damp April day game. Us, we're not giving people time enough to guess.
Yes.
Sometimes we don't have a clue of the answer. We're just throwing out possibilities.
That's correct. I mean, nobody complained when I guessed that Andy Pollock listens to reggae music on the VCast Verizon Wireless.
No, not one complaint.
Nope. The 1-1. Foul ball.
You know, that 92 NLCS when Tim Wakefield pitched those 2 great games against Atlanta and just shut them down. I'm trying to remember, and I think this is true, that the Braves asked Phil Niekro to come in and throw some BP. That was either speculated or it actually happened. I can't remember.
Huh. Well, is Mark Lemke running around?
Uh-huh. He's got a good knuckleball.
But Lemmer would remember, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, we could ask him. But I think Nuxie was asked to come in and crank it up a little bit for BP.
Reached out, poked that one. Escobar collects. Freddie Sanchez retired. Javier Vasquez has been brilliant here this afternoon. He's given up just one hit. Well, Braves fans, spend $100 or more at your local Home Depot store between now and June 28th. Receive 2 free Braves tickets by mail. Visit your nearest Home Depot store for details. Offer valid only at participating stores. Adam LaRoche now. Scoreless game in the 4th. Good pitcher's duel between Paul Maholm and Javier Vasquez. And Javi just pumping in the strikes. 48 pitches, 36 of them have found the mark. The right-hander.
Laser Baker looked up that game. He pitched against the Cubs. It's really going to surprise you. He got beat 3-0.
No.
Struck out 14, got beat 3-0 by Mark Pryor.
Wow.
Who struck out 12. And it was 40 degrees that day. No clouds. Wind 12 miles an hour in from center field. Now, are we going a little too far with this recording thing?
That's the internet, baby.
Record keeping?
That is the internet. Oh, that's outstanding.
But he struck out 14 and got beat.
Two now, as Javi just missed.
A little two-seamer, but he threw 93 and had a little action on it going to the outside part of the plate. Hunter Wendelsted's giving that backdoor pitch, but he didn't get that one.
Missed again, and now it's filled up.
Curveball. I'm going curveball here.
Okay. And there it was. Caught. And Joe Simpson will continue to call the pitches for the rest of the game.
And I'm going to go find Lemke and verify that.
All right. Javier Vasquez on his game. 7 strikeouts, 4 shutout innings. He's allowed just 1 hit, but there's no score. Take a picture. He's been pretty much picture perfect lately, especially from this side, the right side. Strike one. Chipper grounded out his first time. Coming into today, Chipper second in the National League in on-base percentage, 443. Only David Wright was higher.
And hitting .385 against left-handers. Pretty good stuff.
Geico quote of the day on his recent hot streak. It's a little unusual for the last couple of years left-handed. I've been locked in and feeling for it right-handed, but my power stroke is there now right-handed. Now if I can just get that from the left side, I'll have it licked. And it's true. I mean, my first year was a couple of years ago, and you know what he's saying in the Geico quote of the day. I've seen him with much more power from the left side since I've been here than from the right side. That is not true right now, though.
No, it's not. He's getting great extension right-handed, despite what was troubling him before, which was his sore right big toe. That's pretty good. But his thumb feels better, his toe feels better, and he's swinging it.
Pops this one up. Sanchez and LaRoche look out over there. Who got it? I believe Adam made the grab. And he took out Freddie Sanchez.
Adam's not the fastest guy, but he's not shy about going after anything he can get to because he's so confident in his glove work. And he should be. He's a good first baseman. So out there in no man's land, he was not going to give up on this ball and plowed into his second baseman.
And it's a good thing they can laugh about it afterwards, because that can be dangerous. And Chipper laughing about his buddy getting tangled up with Freddie Sanchez. Great friends with Adam LaRoche.
And business partner.
Bouncer to third. Andy LaRoche over to Adam. 2 away. And with 2 down, the Duck comes marching to town. Aflac trivia question answer.
Aflac!
Yes, I know it is. Who are the only 2 players from the 92 NLCS currently on an MLB 40-man roster? He said Wakefield and Smoltz. Show me.
Aflac!
Ain't no stopping us now.
Ho hum.
We're on the move. Ain't no stopping us now.
I love it when that song plays instead of Girl from Ipanema.
Each side with 1 hit here this afternoon.
Guys are dealing, aren't they?
Yeah, no question. Frank Court infield single for the Braves. Andy LaRoche little flare to right for the Pirates. And that's it. Mahalam has matched Javier Vasquez.
Each guy's given up 1 fly ball out to the outfield. Okay, track down Mark Lemke. Ask him about Phil Niekro during the 92 NLCS. And he said it was Bruce Dalcanton.
Oh.
And not Phil Niekro. But I promise you, if you called Phil Niekro up after this half inning and ask him if he could go a couple of innings later today, he'd be here in a heartbeat.
Wilson charges and not going to get Diaz. See how they score it. Matt runs pretty well, but likely an error on the shortstop.
If it is, I think it's only Wilson's 2nd error of the year. Take it back. He's made 5. Is that right? Yeah, 5. Anytime I'm only off by 4, I feel pretty good. Yeah, I think that's a base hit.
Official score still sitting on the fence. Diaz goes. Throw to second, not in time. Matt swipes his second of the year. And they've called it a base hit, by the way. Diaz steals on Diaz.
I love it. And with 2 out, he went on the first move Mahalam made. He wasn't going to try to read him or anything. As soon as that foot went in the air, he took off and guessed right.
The other way, base hit. Diaz around third. He'll come in to score. Francoeur delivers. Braves lead 1-0. And the Braves use the little game to come up with this afternoon's first run.
I love that even more. 26 RBIs for Jeff. And a good piece of hitting here after the stolen base. Breaking ball. Down and out over the plate. Didn't try to pull it. Went the other way and hit it hard. Almost got it past Delwyn Young in right field. But you're right, little ball swiping the base with 2 out. Set it all up. They steal another one. This time last year, through games of June 10th last year, Jeff Francoeur had 7 homers, 36 RBIs. He has 4 homers and 26 RBIs now. Fewer homers, fewer RBIs. His batting average is lower this year. On base, slugging, he's got to kick it in gear.
Yeah, no doubt.
He needs to start stepping it up, and now's as good a time as any. He's 2 for 2 today.
David Ross 0 for 1 with a strikeout, but has had good success. Bobby Cox would love to see it continue against Paul Mahalam. He's now 6 for 19 with 2 homers against him. Francoeur goes, and he'll make it easily. Another stolen base. How about that?
Love it. Just because he's left-handed doesn't mean that there's an automatic stop sign over there. Go on the first pitch, or go on his first move rather. Try to jump on it.
And you got to wonder if that's something that they picked up on video before the game and
could have been
talked to one another about.
Another base hit, another run scored if Ross can find a hole.
One of the things I neglected to ask Nate McLeod, so it's sort of dumb for me to bring it up, but I'm not that bright, so I'll do it anyway. I didn't ask Nate if he even bothered to check the Pirates signs, because obviously you're going to change them when a guy gets traded. But do you just check, just for the record, just in case?
Sure you do. You at least tell the staff. You may not have an opportunity to always keep an eye on the third base coach, Tony Beasley, but you tell the staff what they were and at least see if there's something they can work from to try to steal them.
Just foul.
Ours are really, really hard to steal when you're in Seattle. 1 clap was take, 2 claps was bunt, and 3 was hit and run. Chuck Cottier go through all kinds of signs, and then that was take. They're really hard.
You messed those up.
Well,
and I'm sure somebody did.
It was akin to having a horse stand down there at third and just clomp, one clomped one was take. We didn't have any Phi Beta Kappas on that group. But yes, they got messed up.
And David Ross will take his base. There's a story, and I don't know whether it was last year while he was still manager or the year before, but with Ned Yost managing the Milwaukee Brewers, they admitted this, that somebody got thrown out trying to steal because they thought Nick Leyva was giving the indicator and he was just scratching his neck.
got to be careful. Got to be careful what you touch, rub, or scratch when you're coaching third.
Two on, two outs. And ball one. One of the things Paul Mahallam has done well, not just this year, but in his career, is just devour lefties. Lefties coming in, hitting 130. And on a hot afternoon, Joe Kerrigan's going to go out and have a chat, give him a little breather.
Part of this might be to get him to get back ahead of hitters. He's done a good job of that through the first 3 innings, and this inning had a hard time getting ahead and lost Ross on what looked like a pretty good pitch, that fastball that might have gone either way. Refocus, don't fall behind. Pretty good setup there.
Absolutely. Stay cool, get a nice picture, brought the glove. Braves up 1-0 on the Francoeur RBI single. John Shambi and Joe Simpson. And we're heading to Baltimore. Oh my goodness.
Little sign problem here.
Double checking here. This is Robinson Diaz's 19th start.
Just using shin guards and chest protector.
Broke his bat, roller right side. Sanchez throws out Johnson. And after all that, they get Kelly. But the Braves get on the board first. Francoeur's 2 for 2. In part by your local Ford dealers, by Wendy's, by Texaco, by the Georgia Lottery, and by AirTran. Here at Turner Field, the Braves lead at 1-0 as we go to the top of the 5th. John Shambi, Joe Simpson, and Javier Vasquez been outstanding. 7 strikeouts, giving up just 1 hit. And that was to this guy, Andy LaRoche, who takes strike 1. McDonald's game summary: Vasquez and Mahallam have gone high fly ball for Jeff. And there's 1 away. Javi is looking looked outstanding. 55 pitches here today, so he's been really efficient. Runs a little counter to what you expect from a strikeout pitcher. It's usually not as high as people think, but a strikeout guy is usually going to rack up more pitches for obvious reasons, as opposed to a sinker ball pitcher. But I mean, 55 pitches through 4 1/3 is very good, and 40 for strikes. Almost hit Delwyn Young.
And typically, a guy who's striking out a lot of people is also walking quite a few guys. No walks today, and just 16 for the year versus 100 strikeouts now, even 100.
Here's the pitch. It's that big slow curve. I mean, he throws it all up there. He is confident to throw seemingly every pitch in any count, whether it's either one of the fastballs, the change, or the curve.
What do you figure? 32 starts on average in a season? 33?
It's usually 33, and the opening day starter gets 34, or right around that, yeah.
So he's a little beyond a third of his season, having had 12 starts coming into this one, and he's now at 100 strikeouts. He's on pace for a lot of strikeouts.
You bet. High fly ball, pretty well hit. Right center field. Frank Core on the move, and Jeff will watch it go. Delwyn Young, a solo home run, his third of the year, and we're tied at 1. Delwyn Young, who they acquired April 15th from the Dodgers.
It was a good pickup.
Gets the start today in right field instead of Brandon Moss. With that homer by Delwyn Young, another $10,000 has been raised to support prostate cancer research. To make a donation, call 800-798-CURE or go online to pcf.org.
Can play in the infield, can play in the outfield, and was waived by the Dodgers, so that was a good pickup for Pittsburgh.
I think I said it was his third of the year. It was his first of the year, by the way.
Yeah, not a cheap one out there near the 390 mark.
One and two on Robinson Diaz. A 1-1 game. We're in the top of the 5th. And that curveball fouled off. David Ross got a little piece of him.
Vasquez season high for strikeouts was in 2003. Struck out 241 for Montreal. He's on a pace to blow by that. A lot of day games today. That's always good to see around baseball. A lot of getaway days.
You see fewer and fewer midweek day games in baseball.
But that game in Washington last night, though, where the Reds were leading in the bottom of the 9th and they had a 2-hour and 10-minute rain delay or something. Washington tied it. They played extra innings. Cincinnati won it anyway, 4-2 and 12. That was a long night.
That's one of those when I saw that, I'm channeling my days in Florida. Time now for a money and energy saving bright idea from Georgia Power. Have your heating or cooling professionally checked to make sure it is operating properly. Mention what Javier Vasquez is on pace for strikeout wise. A little bit beyond a third of the way through. Well, Tim Lincecum last year led the majors with 265 strikeouts, so he's on pace for something in that neighborhood. Right now a tie game though. Jack Wilson at the plate, struck out his first time. Again, Jack Wilson with an option to his contract at the end of this year for $8.4 million. The guess would be that Neil Huntington and company will not pick that up. I don't know it.
I'd be surprised if they did. I'd be surprised if Adam LaRoche is still on this ball club after the trading deadline.
So this team is going to look different next year. Or even more different.
Yeah.
Another strikeout. That's number 8. But the Pirates get on the board. Delwyn Young goes deep for the first time this year. And it's a 1-1 game as we head to the bottom of the 5th. Paul Mahalem will go to work against Javier Vasquez.
Take a look at this swing and look how straight this stays for Delwyn Young. And by straight I mean how he doesn't go forward on our Exmo technology, how he swings around. His head doesn't move much. His hips don't move much. Take a look. See how he stays against that firm shoulder, front shoulder, and the hips don't go forward. Head stays still. That accentuates bat speed. And we talk about it with Braves hitters, and we show how a firm front side really helps get the bat going, let your hands work. And that was a perfect example of it from a Pirates player.
Three and two now. Mahalem at 72 pitches. Delwyn Young is helped out with his first home run of the year. And the lefty with the payoff pitch. Looked like Javi swung at ball 4 and he knew it, 1 away. Marlins and the Cardinals are tied at 5 in the 8th. When did they start that game? Like 10 this morning?
Must have.
Nate McLeod stands in.
Very early game for Florida. Usually on getaway day, if they play a day game, it's not till 4 o'clock. Don't do you any favors. Look out, Boone.
Almost took out my computer there, buddy.
Yeah.
Been a bad scene.
That would have been another $75. You okay?
Yeah, I wasn't with it. Think I should have made the play?
Well, you couldn't have, because the monitor it hit on the backside of the monitor. You'd have had to go over the top of it.
Well, I was going to need to stand.
Yeah, it'd been like an outfielder. You'd have had to go over the top and bring the home run back.
Yeah.
Where you going, buddy?
Yeah, it's a pullback.
Yeah.
It was like I went forward and then I realized I didn't want to catch it. I think is really what I realized.
Well, I think you realized too that ball could go anywhere. Including your forehead.
Well, there's that.
It's like so many fans, they're so bold. Here comes a foul ball straight back. It's coming straight down. There's a guy can't wait to get it. He hopes nobody gets in his way. And then he gets alligator arms. He just starts. And then the poor lady sitting in the periwinkle blue gingham dress that came to the park just enjoying herself, a little Coke and a hot dog, just gets smoked in the top of the head because he didn't go ahead and make the play.
No, I know. Monitor's fine, too. They caught it square up.
Can't hurt HD.
No. That's the first one we've had, I think.
Uh-huh.
I mean, in 3 years.
Might be. We had one hit just above us a few days ago. So they're beginning to get the range.
Yeah, I need to make that play. What did they say? If you're scared, get a dog, right?
Yep.
Escobar down on strikes, and that's that. Omaha continues to pitch well. Go to the 6th. Simpson. And all season long, Atlanta Braves baseball on Sports South, presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. The right stuff, the low price, every day. By the way, you can follow us all season long at our Fox Sports South and Sports South Facebook page. We need more friends. We're up to 10,747.
Wow, we blew right by the 10,000 mark.
Yeah, we did.
Great.
And it is just, I mean, and I need the computer. Can't have the computer get broken.
No.
Then, you know, I am getting hammered for not making that play.
Yeah, that was a very revealing replay. In his defense, folks, the monitor was between Boog and the ball. Kind of like having Adam LaRoche crash into you while you're trying to make the play.
Right.
Yeah, I would. Let's see that. Let's see that one more time. Right where Boog's hand is about where the ball hit. He's going to make the play.
Here it is. Here it is. Yeah.
He's
yes.
going to make
yes.
the play,
No.
but monitor almost took out Allie, our booth assistant today. Put her into the second row.
The redirect is a dangerous thing.
Oh,
you would concede
horrible.
that.
Oh yeah, horrible.
But I need to make the play. It's bad. Two and two now. Paul Mahallam grounded out to first his first time up. Two-seamer runs away, and it is filled up on the pitcher. Pirates 16 consecutive losing seasons. Trying to change that, but they're 5 under right now. Center field, and Nate McLeod. One up and a one down.
One of the things that the guys in the truck have done, and we're going to run it for you later today, and you don't want to miss it, is you might remember in the first game of the series, McCutchen had 2 triples, and he just was so impressive with how fast he ran the bases. So what they've done, miraculously, is put him side by side with Deion Sanders on a triple, who was one of the fastest baseball players ever. And they're going to show it to you in real time going home to first. We also have Brian McCann's triple, and we can put that side by side and let you make a comparison.
We won't do that to Mac.
But you want to see it. It is pretty special what they did. Now, what's also special is what the Braves pitchers have done since that first game with McCutchen.
That's a good point.
They have pitched him really tough. He had that great game, went 4 for 7, 2 triples, a double. But since then, he's had 1 hit. That was a single in game 2, and he's 0 for his last 9.
He can fly, man. That Michael Bourne, Shane Victorino, Carl Crawford. Who else we got in our finals of our Speed Demons?
Heck of a relay right there.
Strikeout number 9 for Javi Vasquez. 2 away, and watch him climb it. Yeah, up and away, not a lot McCutchen could have done with that, even if he had made contact. But Joe, Deion Sanders, I would say in the last 15, 20 years, he'd have to be one of the fastest guys we've seen any sport.
Yeah, and Deion was a good base runner. He was a much better baseball player than I thought he was going to be.
Canizares beats the speedy Morgan to first, and that's the inning. Javier Vasquez continues to cruise. We'll go to the 7th, still tied.
watch that. That's too bad.
Penguins fans in the house.
Red Wings and Pens.
Chipper rolls over on that one and out to short. Wilson throws him out. Chipper's 0 for 3.
And both of his ground outs to third base have been pitches where he's kind of, it looked like he's a cutter, maybe biting in on his hands a little bit. Might have been a slider where he had to pull his hands in to try to get the head of the bat through and topped him. So Mahalam's giving everybody fits. But here's Barbaro.
Called up today. Hey, he's got the A on his helmet now.
He's official.
And a base hit to left field. Picked up that baseball. First major league hit for Barbaro Canizares. Wearing Andrew Jones' old number 25.
Just needed an A. That's all the guy needed. Like a high fastball, and had some quick hands turning on this pitch. Again, great numbers in AAA the last 2 years plus this year. All good offensive numbers, and hit .355 against lefties last year for the season.
What's he doing? Now, is that really the baseball right there? Or have they already swapped that thing out? Oh, Matt.
I know that Martin got the ball when they tossed it in the dugout, but who knows what happened to it after that. So a little salute and
that is brutal.
A little trickery.
You don't have the ball from your first major league hit, do you?
No.
That stinks. Could be 2. Oh, Sanchez knocked it down and gets Diaz, but Canizares in scoring position. Freddie had a little trouble collecting that one.
No error because you can't assume the double play. The ball kind of jumped up and bit him in the chest, but he recovered to get 1 out. And it'll take a 2-out hit from Jeff, who's already 2 for 2 on the day. Drove in the only run of the game back in the 4th with a 2-out knock. Let's see if they pitch to him with first base open. Now we got the Orioles tomorrow night on Sports South. Tommy Hanson makes his second start. And I asked Chip last night, I said, you got anything on this Orioles starter tomorrow? Jason Birkin? He said, well, I know his family makes a nice sandal.
I'm pretty sure he's a Georgia guy. Brian McCann told me that he knows him, and I'm not sure from where. Brian told me that they were buddies. Well, they went to Clemson. Did Brian's brother play Clemson?
Might have. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Never gave Jeff anything to hit. They're going to pitch to Ross instead.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the connection is, Joe, but I know that Brian knows him. He is not from Georgia, but he did go to Clemson, and he is 25 years old. So
same age as McCann and Francoeur. Might be some summer league competition going on there.
Yep.
There's that changeup again that just dies, seems like at the same spot every time, which is right at the back point of the plate, and guys are swinging right over the top of it. You either have to lay off the pitch or move up in the box a little bit if you think he's going to throw you one.
Pickoff attempt down to second. Canizares back in.
You used to see that more than you do now. You used to see guys try to take away something from a pitcher if his best pitch was, or if he's getting everybody out with a changeup, move up in the box, try to take that away from him and see what else he's got working today. But guys rarely do that anymore. They kind of dig that toe hold and stay there all day long.
Tell you where we saw it in Arizona. Yunel Escobar did it. I don't remember whether it was a fastball or a changeup, but he moved up by a good 1.5 feet in the box.
He was almost out of the box. Yeah.
I mean, in the middle of an at bat.
Yes.
Against Max Scherzer, being told from the truck. Dave Ross standing pretty deep. Almost hit him. Canizares at second, Francoeur at first. Good eye right there. Closing in on triple digits is the 26-year-old. First round pick out of Mississippi State. And he's been good here today. He's held the Braves to a run on 3 hits. First and second, 2 down. And a 3-2 pitch to David Ross.
At Germantown High School, a really good high school program in Memphis, too. Memphis suburbs. They put out a lot of good baseball players.
Three-two. Popped him up. Freddie Sanchez wandering onto the grass. He's got it. And that's the inning. Braves strand a couple, but Barbaro Canizares making his big league debut and his first big league hit. By McDonald's, by Academy Sports and Outdoors, and by Blimpie. Back at Turner Field. Good game here today. Our Blimpie game summary knotted at 1 each side, or I should say 5 total hits. They changed the hit earlier in the game by Matt Diaz to an error. So 1-2-1 for the Bucks, 1-3-0 for the Braves. Vasquez has been brilliant and drops in a curveball to Freddie Sanchez. By the way, on the Facebook page, somebody did let me know that Brad played at Clemson the same time as Jason Birkin, so that would be how they know one another. Escobar goes backhand, and the throw off the mark, and they say safe. Oh, man. Brian Knight. You felt like he was doing the he's out, he's safe call right there, didn't you?
Oh, I thought he had him for sure. Brian Knight's getting it from both sides. Remember, he was behind the plate in game 1 on that 15-inning game when he made that call at home plate. And David Ross's ground ball that allowed the winning run to score. The throw pulled the catcher off home plate. Canizares, a big guy, 6'3", but he got pulled off the bag here. He got the
he didn't even touch the base.
No, he kind of dragged his foot across the base. Missed it with the front foot altogether. Tag. Missed it with the front foot, dragged his bottom foot across. E6. He was out.
I mean, this is the spot right here where
the high first camera bang.
I mean, he's out.
Yeah.
So an error on Escobar. That is number 8. Foul off third. Chipper. Will he have room? Nope. Adam LaRoche, the average down to 242. Here's what he is in the first half in his career starting last year. 251. The year before that, 239, 251, 275, and 250. And in his career, he's over a 270 hitter. And I mean, he just explodes in the second half. Last year in the second half, he slugged over 600. 2 years ago in the second half, he slugged 680. I mean, those are 2 different guys.
Yeah, they are. And that's why before the trading deadline, there are going to be a lot of teams looking at those second half numbers, figuring he can come in and help them if the Pirates are willing to make a deal.
And it's hard. It's got to be frustrating because you look at those splits, those numbers, the difference between the first half guy and the second half guy is big. The first half guy is just an average major league player. The second half guy is a really good big league hitter.
Really good. And he has no explanation for it. And he has said many times, if I knew why I struggled so much early in the season, I'd fix it. I don't have any answers for it. And he can hit the ball a long way. I remember a playoff game home run in Houston where he hit one over the Houston bullpen out in deep right center. It was just crushed.
2-2 now with a man at first. That's the go-ahead run. Good pitcher's duel here in Atlanta. And LaRoche with a good eye laid off of that pitch that was tempting. Started out about at the knees.
It's good at bat, fouling off a lot of pitches and laying off that one. You're right, Boog. That changeup was perfectly placed. He just couldn't get him to fish for it.
Sanchez at first, 3-2 the count. Runner doesn't go. And that one pulled foul between Canizares and Perry Hill, the Pirates' first base coach. And Adams' younger brother waits in the on-deck circle. Andy has one of the 2 Pirate hits here today. Payoff pitch, runner goes. High fly ball. And McLouth circles around. He's got it. Our Academy Sports and Outdoors leaderboard. Quality Starts team leaders. Cubs at #1. The Braves in the 2nd spot. So Cubs and Rockies tied for first. The Rockies stat is, wow, does that surprise me?
It shocks me that they're up there tied with the Cubs, and may prove, kind of like in the Atlanta case, that those quality starts don't mean much. They don't have much backing.
Got to score. Roche gets down the bunt, 2 away.
That's not what John Russell wants to see out of Andy LaRoche there. He may have had an idea that he could bunt for a single, but when you're batting 5th in the order and you got the go-ahead run at first, hit a double somewhere.
Did they give him a sacrifice there? They did. All to bring up Delwyn Young, who supplied the Pirates with their only run, a solo homer.
And you have a right-handed hitter on deck, and Diaz the catcher. They could pinch hit for him. They got several left-handed hitters available to him on the bench, and Jaramillo, the backup catcher, available if they were to walk or pitch around Young.
Popped up foul. Will Ross have room? No. Time now for our Georgia Lottery hitting the jackpot. Delwyn Young did in the 5th with 1 out and the bases empty.
Hit it a long way for such an easy swing, too. First homer of the year. That was back when we had sunshine, too. Clouding up at the old ballpark.
You know what happens, by the way, with this Facebook thing? You get people asking about Laser Baker, and now we have people asking about our stage manager, Alec.
Well, I don't blame them for that. But happily married, 2 children, 5'5". Maybe 5'5"? No, she's about 5'3".
5'5".
Well, she wears high shoes a lot, and she sits up high in her chair.
Yeah.
Not near as bossy as she needs to be for this crew.
She can be pretty bossy. She is the best. Vasquez ahead 1-2.
Speaking of that, another one of our best booth assistants, Valerie Burrell, whose mom had a fall at home the other day and is in the hospital. We send her our best wishes too.
Absolutely.
Hope Valerie's mom's feeling better.
1-2. Got him looking. That's 10.
40th double-digit strikeout game in the career of Javi Vasquez.
He's been great here today. by the Home Depot, by KFC, and by AT&T. Well, back here in the bottom of the 7th. What's up, Homer? Braves could use one of those. We're not finished with the Cubbies yet. One more game to be played June 22nd before the Yankees and Red Sox come to town. Get your tickets today for the best price on single game tickets. Braves.com/tickets or 800-745-3000. And again, that'll be June 22nd. Braves and the Cubs. Cubs right now 29-27. 2.5 back of first place Milwaukee.
Good pitching matchup. Not altogether unlike what we expected. Paul Maholm, as advertised.
Paul Maholm's good, man.
He is very good. And just really coming into his own, and people around baseball beginning to take notice just how good he is. But had a great April, 3-0, an ERA just over 3 in April, and then in May, 6 starts in May, he went 0-2 with an ERA of 4.46. Won his last start against Houston, 7 innings, but gave up 8 hits and 4 runs in that one and beat the Astros 6-4. A little activity in the Pirates bullpen. Sean Burnett and Steven Jackson begin to throw a little bit behind him.
I'm going to need a little bit of time before you use the activity in the bullpen phrase again. Kelly hits it into left center field, and that'll find some space. Morgan up with it, Johnson into second, and a rare hit for a lefty against Maholm. Great start to the 7th.
Kelly really needed that 5 for his last 35. And giving somebody the devil in the dugout. 14th double of the year, goes the other way. Remember his last time up, he came up with guys on base and rolled over the top of a pitch and grounded out. So he might have been thinking trying to go the other way on this at bat, and it worked.
Javi up here to bunt. It's a good one. Diaz picks it up and fires a strike to first. And the go-ahead run is 90 feet away.
That is the 9th sacrifice for Javi Vasquez.
Love it.
That is double, more than double anyone else on the ball club. Derek Lowe has 4, and now Vasquez 9. Excellent bunt. Good crowd here today. A lot of camp kids in the upper deck. Almost 30,000 folks here.
Infield and a breaking ball for a strike to Nate McLeod. I love all the colors in the upper deck with all the camp kids. Johnson at third in a 1-1 game. Look out.
Anybody else, Maholm may not be quite so smiley about that, but his former teammate, he kind of grinned about this one coming back at him. Nate McLeod, by the way, remember, batted third almost all season for the Pirates and a run producer. He's hitting .352 at runners in scoring position.
LaRoche, Wilson, Sanchez, LaRoche on the edge of the grass. Climbed the ladder on him and blew him away.
That hurts. But again, you've talked about the numbers against left-handed hitters, and they're very good for Maholm, and you got McLeod. You got him to chase a bad pitch.
The lefties came in 7 for 54 in the season. That's a 130 average. And today they are 1 out of 6 now. So make it 8 for 60.
And now you have the team's best hitter with runners in scoring position, and Yunel Escobar at 414, 424 with 2 out and runners in scoring position. Yunel was mad at himself his last at bat. He struck out twice in a row, but his last at bat was swinging. He chased what looked like a bad ball, a breaking pitch, and broke his bat in disgust. So maybe he learned something from that.
Other way. Oh, just foul.
Robinson Diaz off the mask and helmet to get a little air circulation, and also taking a deep sigh after that one. Just missed being a fair ball.
Barreled that up pretty good. 1-2 now with Johnson at third, a 1-1 game. John and Joe with you here in the 7th. And McCutchen glides over. The Braves can't do anything with the leadoff double. We'll go to the 8th, and still a 1-1 game at Turner Field. Go to the 8th, and the Braves take off on a 9-game, 10-day road trip after this one. And the road schedule brought to you by AirTran, Orioles, Reds, and Red Sox. I'm excited to get a look at Adam Jones, a very good player they got in the Eric Bedard trade.
Me too. He was kind of the centerpiece of the deal for the Orioles, too, coming back from Seattle.
If I told you at this point in the season the Reds would have a better record than the Braves, you would have said?
No way. But look at that ERA among their starters, and they've been without Volquez quite a bit, too. He's been hurt.
And then one of the beasts of the East, the Boston Red Sox, 7-0 against the Yankees now.
I think there are a lot of people, like you said earlier, anxious to see the Braves and Red Sox play because you never get to see the Red Sox play on national TV.
Right. Javier Vasquez thrown 103 pitches.
If the Braves had gotten that run in, which they should have done, runner at third, less than 2 outs, go ahead run there in the bottom of the 7th, you might have seen the tandem of Soriano and Gonzalez come in to finish this game up. And the way those two guys have been pitching, It might have been all but over. Just tardy.
11 strikeouts for Javier Vasquez. And a 1 away.
Season high is 12. Career high 14, as we told you earlier. No shot there. Having to double deck under the bring the heat sign.
He's gotten Jack Wilson twice. For the Braves, it'll be Hansen against Birkin in game 1. Kawakami and Rich Hill in game 2. And then on Sunday, 135 Lowe and Bergeson. On the ground, Escobar charges and gobbles it up. And fires him out on the run.
That means Lowe would be scheduled to pitch the first game of that Boston series.
There's a lot of talk right now, by the way, that John Smoltz' first start as a member of the Boston Red Sox will be, I think, the Wednesday of the Yankees series, which would mean his second start would be Sunday here.
Good. That'd be fun.
Brandon Moss going to hit for Paul Maholm. Remember Rich Hill, not last year, but the year before, just ate up the Braves.
Yeah.
And I like him. I think he's got good stuff, but he's had issues with throwing strikes. And usually the guys that have the thing or something close to it, it's something that gets in your head a little. Lou Pinella's not a real let's hug it out type of guy.
No, he's not.
So the love and caring is usually not going to flow for somebody looking for tenderness and command.
That's a very good description. Brandon Moss has got a lot of family and friends here. He's from Loganville, Georgia. Talked about Matt Capps being on a high school all-star team with Jeff Rancourt and Brian McCann. Well, so was Brandon Moss. He was on that team too in 2001 that went to Oklahoma and played in a high school all-star tournament and won the tournament.
Got him swinging. That's a dozen for Javi. Matches his season high. He has been absolutely brilliant here this afternoon. But the Braves need to get him a run. dozen strikeouts, giving up a run on 2 hits here today. Folks, ever dreamt of having on-field access for Braves batting practice? The Braves are now offering fans this incredible and unique experience prior to select games this season. To purchase this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, visit Braves.com/batting practice.
Boog, you'll be interested to know, I mean, with our crack research staff, we've looked up fielding percentages. Given that foul ball we had earlier today, we've looked up fielding percentages of the all-time broadcasters. Vin Scully, Red Barber, Jack Buck at the top of the list, and you're 44th now. So congratulations. That
dropped a monitor there.
Dropped you. No shock though that Scully's at the top.
I know. Well, of course.
Ernie Johnson was not on that list there, but he is 5th.
I'm embarrassed by it, and nobody, because there's video of that one. But I'm telling you, I was perfect until today. I can give you the names of the batters that have hit the balls I've caught.
Wow.
I got one in Arizona from Tony Womack. I got one from Aaron Boone in Cincinnati. I got one here from Kevin Millar. And I got one from, I think, Maglio Ordonez in Cleveland. Nobody's ever going to believe it.
No, pretty much they don't have that.
It's fine.
They don't have that in baseball encyclopedia.
You're only as good as your last play. Chipper ripped that one. So 1 down as Barbaro Canizares makes his way to the plate, and our Wendy's way better play of the day.
First major league hit. It came in his 3rd major league at bat. Got called up from Gwinnett overnight. Greg Norton placed on the disabled list, and not only did he get called up, he's in the lineup batting clean. Wouldn't be surprised to see him DHing a game or two if Martin Prado's groin is feeling better and his knees better than in this interleague action in Baltimore. He might be DHing. Who knows?
Orioles as a team 10th in the American League in runs scored, 13th in ERA, and 13th in runs allowed. So if you're looking for a spot to get the offense cranked up, Baltimore would seem to be a nice place to do it.
Yeah, and you just saw on that graphic, I think they've lost 8 of their last 10. Was that what that was? Or 8 of 11. 8 of 10.
Canizares down on strikes, 2 away. A 1-1 game. We're in the 8th. John and Joe with you. Not a lot of offense in this one. Credit to the starting pitchers, Javier Vasquez and Paul Maholm.
It's about all Javi can do at this point is scratch his head and wipe his face.
Steven Jackson delivers down and away.
Maybe Diaz will run into one here.
Matt reached on an error. He's also got a stolen base. And he scored a run, and there's a base hit.
Stole a base earlier today against the left-handed pitcher. He might try it again here to try to get into scoring position. Hanging curveball. I don't understand why they changed his infield hit to an error 2 innings later. I don't understand the purpose of that.
Maybe look at the replay. I'm honestly not sure on that one. I know it's getting late. We had somebody on the Facebook page, by the way, ask, and we have not done the McCutchen-Deion Sanders thing. McCutchen leads off the ninth, so we'll see if we can sneak that in.
Yep. In fact, we're going to come right out of the break with it, so stay tuned. We haven't forgotten.
Well, we may have a little bit.
Nope. I even prompted them in the bottom half of the inning.
There was prompting?
Prompting. Serious prompting. It's graphicking.
I love the hard step off and stare at first base. There goes Diaz again. Pitches a strike. Throw down, not in time. Matt's got his second of the afternoon.
Freddie Sanchez tried to block the bag, too. He laid his leg down in front of the base, tried to keep Matt from getting there. That's dangerous. If a runner comes in feet first, watch this left leg. Across the bag, just left a little bit of an opening there, and Matt got in. Need Jeff to complete a perfect afternoon here. 2 for 2 with a walk.
Chase something down. Now 1-2.
Only run for Atlanta came on a 2-out hit to right by Francoeur after Diaz had swiped the base in the 4th inning. That actually put Atlanta on top 1-0, but in the top of the 5th, Delwyn Young hit his first homer of the year.
By the way, that's the first time this year the Braves have stolen 2 bases in a game.
By
3, I should be.
By 1 player.
Out to short, Wilson. We're going to the 9th. Still 1-1. Thank you. Wow, they got all those guys' numbers. And Rafael Soriano, who's been brilliant. Well, as promised, Andrew McCutchen, a couple of triples in the opener of this series, and we watched him fly around the bases. So here's what our crew put together. McCutchen and Deion side by side. Watch them go.
Keep in mind, Deion's hitting left-handed out of the box. I'd say that was pretty close, wouldn't you?
I think they said 11 flat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if Dion beat him by half a step, I think it would be hitting out of the left side that would be the difference.
That might have been the difference, but it was that close. Bang, bang. That was fun to see.
Yeah, absolutely. Good work by the guys in the truck.
Rafael Soriano has been incredible. He and Mike Gonzalez and what they're doing at the end of games is outstanding. 9 straight outings without a run allowed by Soriano. And only 2 walks in those 8 outings. 2 walks, 13 strikeouts.
Here comes the 0-2. Popped him up. McCutchen still learning the strike zone. With that speed, 34 stolen bases last year, already had 10 at AAA this season. He's got 1 in the big leagues.
John Russell told me before the game last night one of the reasons they sent him back to Indianapolis to start the season was there were a couple of things they wanted him to work on. Bunting was one of them. Having a little bit better idea in the strike zone was another. And when he went back, he got off to a slow start.
Goes the other way and a base hit.
And he said it was one of those things where once things started clicking, he started tearing it up. I told Chip this last night, and you see if you agree, but he reminds me of kind of a miniature Willie McGee. The way he runs, kind of throws his chest out and his backside out the other way, and
he scoots. I mean,
yeah.
Absolutely. I'm curious to see what type of offensive player he turns into. I think when they drafted him, there was some thought that he would end up being a number 3 type hitter, and now I think they feel a little bit more as though the leadoff spot is what will suit him best. That one bunted, and Ross will throw out Morgan.
I'm not sure that David really wanted to make that play. The way it was popped up, they wanted to catch it in the air, couldn't get there. If it spins back foul, that's okay, but it just kind of spun. It really bit into the grass. No chance for Soriano to get there, and then it was obvious that ball wasn't going to spin back foul.
Getting the line on Javier Vasquez. He was something. 8 innings, a run on 3 hits, 12 strikeouts, didn't walk a soul.
That hit by McCutchen, only the 8th against Soriano this year, and 54 at bats. But a lot of pressure on the defense when you got a guy that fast standing at second base with the go-ahead run in the 9th. You know you don't have time for a bobble. You got to make the play. If it's a ground ball on the infield, can't throw it away, and that's what speed does to you.
Little tapper back to the mound. Soriano throws him out. Freddie Sanchez continues to struggle with men in scoring position. To me, it's an odd one. A 267 hitter this season so far with men in scoring position, and yeah, don't quite know why that is.
Well, he's not a 3-hole hitter. He's batting third because McLouth's gone. He's a perfect number 2 guy. So those numbers with runners in scoring position not so bad for a guy batting second or even as a leadoff man. But if he's going to continue to bat third, it's got to improve.
I mean, I guess I would expect his numbers with men in scoring position to be the same as his average.
Reflective of what he normally does.
If not a little bit higher, just because, I mean, again, most guys are better out of the windup than out of the stretch, and it's the pitcher that's in trouble. They'll walk LaRoche in order to face LaRoche here. Some clouds moving in here at the stadium. Got the lights on. Laser Baker monitoring the situation. Our Doppler radar weather forecast with Laser Baker. 7 minutes after every hour.
Meteorologist slash home fix it.
LaRoche takes off, and this one popped foul.
LaRoche stole second the other night when the Braves played behind him. Now they'll hold him on. Let's see if he runs again. That was a surprise to see him going there.
Oh, and 2.
Good pitch. Whew. He has almost like he's got it on a piano string to that outside corner. He just lets it rip, and he's been finding that corner a lot.
See what he gives him here. He goes up, and LaRoche goes down to a knee. That cap swarming in the Pirates' pen.
Try on the slider, but almost backed off of it too much.
McCutchen at third, the go-ahead run. LaRoche over there at first. At the corners, 2 down, a 1-1 game in the ninth. Just got a piece. I mean, right off the end of the bat.
Almost in David Ross's glove.
Scooped it out of there.
That's a good spot, though. Might get him to expand it even more. That's where his success has been as away, and that's where Ross sets up again.
Oh. LaRoche takes second. Yeah, that's off the plate.
It's off. No argument from David Ross. Say Harry Hunter Windelstedt's been pretty generous with those corners today. But that was too wide.
3-2 now. Up the middle and through, a base hit. McCutchen in to score. LaRoche on his heels, and a 2-run single by Andy LaRoche here in the ninth. 3-1 game. An 8-pitch at bat for the Pirates, young third baseman.
Remember, he was in the hole 0-2 to a guy who has been absolutely awesome. I'm not even sure that was a strike. Look how far he had to lunge and get it, but got the sweet part of the bat on it and found a hole. And the stolen base, uncontested by LaRoche, leads to a run too. I called it a stolen base. It was actually defensive indifference for Adam, but taking off for second uncontested.
Did they really?
They were holding him on. But when he broke, no one moved to cover second. Maybe that was part of it.
Base hit right field. And LaRoche will make his way to third. They're at the corners.
Pitches for Soriano in the inning. And with the Pirates having already taken the lead, this might be his last hitter. Jeff Bennett is ready in the pen if needed.
Robinson Diaz in this one 0 for 3 with a pair of strikeouts. Vasquez struck out a dozen. This would be a tough way to end the homestand.
Yeah, it would. Would make the Braves 4-5 on the homestand. And especially after winning the first 2 games of this series, to drop the last 2 would hurt. Braves will have the bottom third of the order up: Ross, Johnson, and the pitcher spot.
Ball and a strike with runners at first and third. Right field, slicing away from Francoeur, and Jeff calls it in. Pirates pick up 2 big runs. We'll go to the bottom of the 9th. Last chance for the Braves.
Now on top 3-1 with a 2-run rally in the top of the inning. First time all year that Soriano had given up 2 runs in an inning. And the closer on for the Pirates, Matt Capps, who worked last night in the 9th inning, gave up a home run to Garrett Anderson, but got everyone else and earned his 14th save. He's 8 for his last 8 in save opportunities. had some injury problems earlier in the year that really scared Pittsburgh, but he's back strong. And he too, a Georgia native. He'll try to finish it up here facing the bottom of the order. Looks like Gregor Blanco is going to pinch hit for Ross.
The year. It's a 3-1 game as Blanco will hit for David Ross. Joe, one of the things that's tough when you're on a bad team is being the closer, because your opportunities can be so sporadic. When you look at him last year, and he had a lot of trouble just getting chances. Blanco thrown out. There's one away in the ninth. Last year, of his final 12 appearances, only 4 were save opportunities, and he had a bunch of different stretches where he barely had an opportunity to close anything out. Last year in April, he had 11 shots, May 11, but in July only 1, August only 3. It gets tough.
A little scattered on him.
But if you're not consistently winning games or in a position to win games, it's a lot harder.
Braves were in a position to take the lead in the 7th inning after a leadoff double by Kelly Johnson here, but couldn't get him home. He doubled. Vasquez got him to third, but McLeod struck out. Escobar flied out. I mean, I don't know how you pitch much better than Javi Vasquez did today. No walks, 12 strikeouts, gave up 1 run in 8 innings.
Just had some lightning.
See a little Kelly Johnson thunder. Back-to-back thunder. Kelly and then McCann, who's on deck.
That'll get out of play on top of the Pirates dugout.
One of the things that has been interesting to watch, we've talked about Jack Wilson and the Pirates middle infielders and how slick they are. He makes throws from the most uncanny positions, just like that play he made on Blanco. They're going to his left and kind of throwing almost submarine over to first base, but he puts enough on the throw to get it there, and he's very accurate.
The arm angles are varied from Jack Wilson.
It's almost like wherever he feels the ball, that's where I'm going to throw it. If he gets a good hop, he'll get on top of his throw, but if not, he's liable to just throw it from about shoe top high.
Towards first, LaRoche. Caps late getting over, and he's out at first. Wow.
Oh.
Brian Knight rings him up. Len Hubbard keeping Kelly away. Bobby Cox is gone.
Pretty much knew that was going to happen. That's the second one Knight has missed against Atlanta today. One on a base runner for Pittsburgh, and now Kelly Johnson. It looked like he beat Caps to the bag.
And Bobby's saying that's twice.
Brian Knight had a bad night here Monday night behind the plate, and then got aired out all the way to the locker room by John Russell on what he thought was a bad call at home plate that ended the game. It's stopped by LaRoche. That saved a double. Foot race is on. Tie goes to the runner, if there is such a thing. safe. Safe.
Yeah, he's safe.
I think his foot got there before Cap's foot. Not to mention, at worst, a tie. Man, that hurt.
And it is starting to rain here. That's tough. Brian Knight missed 2 calls at first base.
One didn't matter, as it turned out. Back in the 7th inning, it didn't matter. But on our Exmo here, luxury of really super slow motion there that Brian Knight didn't have, but he missed it.
There is no wording, by the way, in the rule book that says the tie goes to the runner. But the verbiage is correct because the defensive player has to beat the runner to the base. So if they get there at the same time, Caps is not beating him to the base.
Yeah, Caps loses that foot race. You have to beat the runner.
He's got to touch the base before Kelly does.
But it changes the game. It changes the way Caps pitches here to Brian McCann. He's not near as free and easy with his pitches when he's got a 2-run lead and nobody on base as he does with a 2-run lead and no one on.
Plus, he's a guy that goes out of the windup with nobody on, as opposed to the stretch, and just strategically got him right there. Ball game. Braves lose a tough one here today. And the final 3-1. Pirates take the finale. And a tough homestand for the Atlanta Braves.